Meanwhile, the women's vault contenders, we've just seen Sabrina Maneka-Voina of Romania, Agata Vrostruhovaite of Lithuania, Colleen Duvillard of France, World Championship bronze medalist. Ruby Stacey of Great Britain as the first reserve, with Nancy Taman of Egypt withdrawing. Patricia Makovitskova of the Czech Republic, senior international debutant. Darina Yazinskaya of Kazakhstan. Kamil Rasmussen of Denmark, the reigning Nordic champion on vault. And a young gymnast who you might have seen before, called Oksana Chusovitna of Uzbekistan, the 47-year-old who's come back from her latest retirement with great success. And she won a bronze medal in Cottbus, taking her to a tally of roughly 3.5 million World Cup medals. We lost count a while ago. The start list for the women's vault competition. And we have the top performer in qualification, third in the order, Colleen Duvillard of France. Second best, Nancy Taman of Egypt has withdrawn, so Ruby Stacey from Great Britain comes in as the first reserve. Does that open the way for the first gymnast, Sabrina Maneka-Voina of Romania? She's the reigning junior European champion on vault. It's an opportunity for the young athletes from Great Britain, Ruby Stacey. As we have a look at Agata Vrostruhovaite of Lithuania. We've seen occasions, haven't we, where reserves have come into World Cup finals and gone on to take medals, even take the title. Now warming up is Colleen Duvillard. Won the bronze medal at her third World Championships in Liverpool. And there is the aforementioned reserve, Ruby Stacey. She's just won the all-around silver medal at the English Championships. Well, we have a rather enjoyable piece of gymnastics history in Sabrina Maneka-Voina competing. Her mother, an Olympic silver medalist in 1988, retired just as a young gymnast called Oksana Chusovitna was starting to make her way through. Yes, that year that her mother retired was also the year that Oksana Chusovitna, who'll go last in this vault final, won the junior national championship for the Soviet Union. So I think that's barely comprehensible, actually. It's such an extraordinary piece of trivia. There's longevity and there's absurdity, and we've almost gone into the latter camp now. Colleen Duvillard was the European champion back in 2017 in Cluj-Napoca in Romania. And the Junior World Championships will be taking place there in July. It really is an excellent crowd here to watch this at the Aspire Dome. They've got a wonderful view right by the vaulting table. It's a really enjoyable place to witness the power of vault. A lot of people say actually they really only get a sense of it when they stand sideways on. So let's begin this women's vault final. Sabrina Maneka-Voina of Romania, the third strongest in qualification. The 15-year-old is the reigning junior European champion on vault. She won full colours at those championships with a team silver medal and a bronze on floor, and she was the third best in qualification. And that is a really impressive start from Sabrina Maneka-Voina. 15, she's got a double twisting Yurchenko vault that she executes nicely. What a nice senior international debut she's having. Just about gets it round. A little cross-legged as she lands, but it's very promising gymnastics, isn't it, from this young athlete. Her last competition before this was winning the vault title at the Junior National Championships, along with the all-around title, along with the floor title. So we await the first score for Sabrina Maneka-Voina. .733, so less than a tenth down from qualification. Second vault now for Sabrina Maneka-Voina. Lacking a little control in that second vault. That's what she's going to need to develop over the years, but she's got time on her side to do that. She was indicating the Omelianchik vault as she embarked upon it. It wasn't the tidiest vault we've seen from this young athlete. Not the truest connection on the springboard, and a loss of form in the pike position, the front pike coming out of that. .0 difficulty for the Omelianchik. Nearly there though, nearly there. She'll be down a fair bit from qualification, where she had a 12.266, one imagines. .466. So actually she is up slightly. So well done to her. Now we go to Agata Vostrukovaite of Lithuania. Eighth strongest in qualification. She was a bronze medalist at the Mersin World Cup in 2021. Nice tidy opening from Agata Vrostrukovaite. 22-year-old who made the final in Cottbus as well.
Agata Vrostrukovaite, she's more experienced than Maneka Hornea, 22 years old.
Handspring front pipe with a half turn.
The only World Cup medal so far was a bronze medal on vault at the World Cup in Turkey in 2021. So she knows what it feels like to be on the podium. Agata Vrostrukovaite.
Nice to see her back at World Cup level. The Cottbus World Cup was her first international competition since the 2021 World Championships, her third World Championships. .633, so she's up from her performance in qualification by almost a couple of tenths. Just to confirm, Sabrina Maneka Voiner's score for the second vault was 11.2, so I think I misread that. It was a 12.466 average score. Apologies there. I did think it was going to be down from the preliminary round. Second vault for Vrostrukovaite. Oh, hope she's all right. That looked like an unpleasant landing. Oh no. She was already carrying a heavily protected knee. Let's have a look back at the second vault from the young Lithuanian. It's a jarred landing. It's evidently a painful one, a really painful one. So more difficult vault, the layout Sukahara half. Wasn't quite right in the air in terms of the form, but you just worry so much, don't you, when you see an athlete who's competing with already a lot of protection around their knee and then they have that sort of landing. She's walking away without assistance, which is, one hopes, a positive sign. .166 for a 12.399 average score, so she's down by 2 tenths from qualification. Now to Colin de Villar, top performer in qualification. Oh, you could hear, I'm sure, the reaction from the crowd as she produced that vault. There was real amplitude and it got something of a gasp from the spectators. She comes into this with the single most difficult vault that we're going to see. Goodness, that really had some oomph to it. Lovely central line as well. 5.4 difficulty in qualification, and that will be matched here.
Vaults is definitely her favorite apparatus. Let's wait for her score.
Certainly this will be the single highest score that we've seen so far. 14.4, a 9 for execution. That is a terrific score for Colin de Villar. Now her second vault, one suspects, will be enough to put her quite comfortably into the lead. as long as she can get through it reasonably tidily. And she does do, absolutely. Keeping it relatively simple with the full twisting Yurchenko. But that's great vaulting from Colleen de Villars. Well executed, full twisting Yurchenko. Again, lovely central line. Very in control. That looked better than qualification. One says with caution.
Let's watch the score of Colleen de Villars, the French athlete.
Two really well executed vaults, little to choose between them in terms of their clarity. Quite a bit to choose in terms of difficulty. There we go. 9 for execution for the second. So a 13.2 for that vault, a 13.8. Meanwhile, that was the first vault from Ruby Stacey of Great Britain. So apologies, we rather missed that. And that's the Yurchenko 1.5, so with that extra half turn to give it an additional 4/10 of difficulty from what we've just seen from Colleen de Villars, but lacking the half turn that we saw from Sabrina Maneka-Vojna at the start of the competition. Most crucially of all, lacking a controlled landing. 12.166 for Stacey. Down by almost a full mark from qualification, easily attributable to the landing.
Here she comes again. Ruby Stacey, Great Britain.
Second vault for Ruby Stacey. Pike Tsukahara with 3.4 difficulty. Teenager from Tavistock, the market town in West Devon, the southwest of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It's not a hugely acute pike position, but her line is nice and tidy in the centre. So half turn onto the table. That pike position coming out of it. Difficulty-wise, it's unlikely to push her into the top 3 at the moment. 12.0 for the second vault, 12.083. The average score. So that means at the halfway mark of this women's vault competition, we've got Agata Vostrukovaite in the bronze medal position, Sabrina Maneka-Vojna is in silver, and then Colleen de Villars is in a class of her own, really, because the scoreboard is remarkable, 13.8, and then a gap of almost 1.4 to second place. Now the warm-ups for the remaining competitors, led by Patricia Makovitskova.
Stand up, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, wave, we start here in the middle. I think everybody's still a little bit sleepy. We try that again during the next warm-up.
Just a rather nice little piece of trivia for those of you who really enjoy your gymnastics history. I mentioned earlier that we saw the Omelianchik vault that was performed, if my memory serves me correctly, by Sabrina Maneka-Vojna as her second vault. Judging this is actually Oksana Omelianchik. So the creator of the vault is assessing how well it's performed. She knows all the greats. She's one of them. And she's writing another fascinating chapter at the moment. The 47-year-old from Bukhara, who has competed at 8 Olympic Games, 17 World Championships. She'll be the last to go. And she will be the first to go in the second half of this vault final. Oksana Chusevitna has won medals at 4 multi-sport games. I will leave that hanging in the air as a little trivia question for you to see if you can name all 4 of them. Give you till the end of the warm-up. Maria Yasinskaya of Kazakhstan made the vault final at the Asian Championships in this building in June. The first time we've seen her at international level since then. And Camilla Rasmussen of Denmark is the reigning Nordic champion on vault. Getting very interesting, these Nordic championships. Some lovely gymnastics being performed at them. They're well worth having on your radar, those Nordic championships. And you always get a jolly good barnstormer of a team competition between the Nordic rivals. Anything that involves the likes of Sweden and Finland getting the chance to compete with each other. Norway and Denmark. And now we've got to throw Iceland into the mix as well with their strong performances. Some lovely gymnasts have been coming out of the Faroe Islands lately. To Patricia Makovickova of the Czech Republic. Those 4 multi-sport games medals for Oksana Chusevitna: the Olympics, the Asian Games, the Goodwill Games and the Islamic Solidarity Games. Now to Patricia Makovickova. Oh, get some nice height in that vault. That was well performed. 16-year-old making her senior international debut after she competed at the Junior European Championships last year, and she is the junior medalist on vault, a bronze medalist.
Patricia is a youngster, 16 years old. She was born.
Her difficulty will improve. Relatively simple handspring front pike. But she's got a nice acute pike position, does get the toes close to the nose. Huge congratulations to her on making it to this final. Actually just a little over as she lands, hence that step forward, but 12.733 is almost the same as qualification, down by less than a tenth. She's done really well. Round off half on front tuck. Another 3.8 difficulty vault from Patricia Makovickova, and no wonder she has a look of relative satisfaction as she departs this final. That's good, secure vaulting. Again, her tuck position, just like her pike position, shows good technique. she can certainly depart this final knowing that she's executed 2 vaults really nicely. And you know what, there's something really enjoyable about seeing a young athlete come into their first final, perform within their comfort zone from a difficulty perspective, execute it well, and get the reward of going to second place. 12.599. 12.466 for the second vault. So Makovitskova leads the peloton. Well done to her. And you know what? She's in with a chance with 3 to go. To Daria Yasinskaya of Kazakhstan, the 18-year-old, who made the vault final in this very building at the Asian Championships in June of last year. Second time in a World Cup final. And she has a fair amount of difficulty over Makovitskova, who went before her. So the first vault, for example, adds that half turn to the vault that we saw from Makovitskova in her first effort. Handspring front pike, same vault, but then the additional half turn just notches up the difficulty by a couple of tenths. Another securely executed vault. She's drifting slightly, and that may carry with it a tenth of penalty. So not quite the clean establishment of the central line that we saw from Makovitskova.
In Egypt, in Cairo, in the fantastic Olympic Stadium.
12.566. So interestingly, although the difficulty is higher, the execution lower than Makovitskova, and all told she's just under 2 tenths below the score of the Czech athlete who currently holds second place. This is where she has 4 tenths on Makovitskova's second vault. Oh, goodness. Good job she's okay. That was an uncomfortable looking full twisting Yurchenko right from the word go. It just didn't seem right in flight. Unfortunately, it wasn't a damaging landing to anything other than her score. Let's have a look back at it. The legs go completely in the air. She's offline entirely. Does happen. A reaction of an athlete who knows that this vault final is there for somebody to seize control of. Well, I say control of. Colin de Villar. We have to remember she is still in this vault final because she's so far away from the rest of the pack that I'm barely talking about her because she's all but uncatchable. But there's a serious fight for silver and for bronze going on. At the moment, the youngster Patricia Makovitskova is winning that. Isn't that extraordinary?
She won the silver medal, Daria Yasinskaya, at the Asian Junior Championships in 2017, silver on vault. That was in Thailand, in Bangkok.
First time that Daria Yasinskaya has competed in the city of Doha at an FIG competition, but as I mentioned before, she knows it well from the Asian Championships. She also competed at the Junior World Championships in Győr in Hungary back in 2019. And how nice, we've got another Junior World Championship to look forward to. So 11.783 the average for Daria Yasinskaya. Second vault was 11. She's in 6th place. And now we go to Camille Rasmussen of Denmark, the reigning Nordic champion, the 18-year-old who was 6th at the European Championships. She has won a medal on vault at the World Cups. And certainly she's going to put herself into contention with that display. Denmark's Camille Rasmussen. Second double twisting Yurchenko that we've seen.
Denmark in the final here.
It'll be interesting to compare it from a tidiness perspective to Sabrina Maneka Voyna.
Where she's a member of a club in Kastu. Camille is the 2019.
Doesn't have a hugely difficult second vault, Rasmussen, but that first, it's got some impact.
That was in Bulgaria last year on vault.
13.7. Her execution a little lower than Maneka Voyna's, and that certainly seems a correct assessment. And there the second vault from Camille Rasmussen of Denmark. She had a score of 12 for that in qualification.
Coach, big hug is that. Now straight to the kiss and cry zone.
First ever gymnast to win a Women's World Cup medal for her country when she took the vault silver in Varna, Bulgaria last year.
Colleen de Villaar will win the first medal here in this vault final, that's for sure. At least a bronze medal for Colleen.
Now, what kind of number are we going to see here from Camille Rasmussen? Started with a 13.7. And the score is 12.966, puts her into second place with 13.333, and very interestingly, she is a full mark up on her qualification second vault. We're seeing now from Camille Rasmussen increased difficulty with her second vault, which is going to start to put her into play in vault competitions if she carries on in that vein. Oksana Chusevitna of Uzbekistan, 47-year-old, fourth strongest in qualification. Very nice beginning. What a super first vault from the veteran. Now her average score was 12.899. That would be enough to put her into the lead. Not put her into the lead, sorry, put her onto the podium, excuse me. Handspring front pike with a half turn. 12.633 in the preliminary round. .7. So up just a fraction from qualification, and she's in line to make it onto the podium, because the second vault is, if we see the same as qualification, the more difficult one for the gymnast from Uzbekistan. And that is a very good final from Oksana Chusovitna. Really impressive gymnastics from the veteran of veterans. We need to find a new word for her. To call her a veteran is just too gentle a term for somebody with her longevity. The veteran's veteran, perhaps. Starting from the Tsukahara family. Half turn onto the table. That layout position with a full twist. Now, Oksana Chusovitna has won a medal in her last 8 World Cup events, going back to Doha in 2019. And guess what? She's done it again. 12.916, a 13.133, and that now makes it, by my count, 9 World Cup medals in a row for Oksana Chusovitna of Uzbekistan. Above her, Camille Rasmussen of Denmark, a 2nd World Cup silver for her, and the title won by Colline de Villars of France, and quite comfortably won. After that first vault, it seemed she got it fairly securely. And let's just take a moment to say jolly well done Patricia Makovitskova of the Czech Republic, the 16-year-old, showing lovely technique, very good execution. The classified results in the women's vault competition: bronze to Oksana Chusovitna of Uzbekistan, silver to Camille Rasmussen of Denmark, and the title won by France's Colline de Villars, the World Championship bronze medalist. But a special nod, as mentioned earlier, to Patricia Makovitskova of the Czech Republic, very close to getting a vault medal, and a lesson there for a lot of young gymnasts. It was execution over difficulty. She is a gymnast who is vaulting within her capacity and vaulting really well. She's only 16, she's got time to add some difficulty to those 2 3.8 vaults, but they're well performed.
Third place and bronze medal winner, representing Uzbekistan, Oksana Chusovitna.
The bronze medal to Oksana Chusovitna, making it 9 World Cup events in a row in which she has taken to the podium.
Second place and silver medalist from Denmark, Camille.
If you think she's good now, wait till you see her after her next retirement. Camille Rasmussen of Denmark takes the silver medal. Well done to her. A second place finish in a World Cup event. The reigning Nordic champion establishing herself once more as one to watch. But Colin Duvillard of France, clearly the winner in terms of complexity and in terms of crispness of execution. 9.0 volts for execution. Both of her vaults were the two highest in terms of their precision that we saw all day, and that amounted to a win of almost half a mark over Rasmussen. We'll now have the national anthem of France.
For the national anthem of France. Oksana Shulso-Vitina, Camille Rasmussen and Colin Duvillard, the medal winners of the vault final.
The medalists in the women's vault competition at the Doha World Cup.
The Qatar Gymnastics Federation, Ali Al-Hizmi, President of the Qatar Gymnastics Federation and Vice President of the International Gymnastics Federation, and Mr. Abdullah Abdelrahman, Board Member of the Qatar Gymnastics Federation. One last picture with those beautiful medals, well deserved. What a brilliant podium. Ladies, congrats.